It is 3:14 in the morning. The city is asleep. The world is silent. But you are wide awake. You are sitting in the glow of a computer monitor, your eyes dry, your heart hammering against your ribs like a trapped bird. You have a project due at 8 a.m. You had 3 weeks to do it. You did nothing for 20 days. And now, in the witching hour, something miraculous is happening. Your fingers are flying across the keyboard. Your brain, which felt foggy and sluggish for weeks, is suddenly sharp as a razor. You are connecting ideas, writing paragraphs, building slides. You are a machine. You tell yourself, I work better under pressure. You tell yourself, I am a night owl. You tell yourself, I am clutching this victory from the jaws of defeat. And when you submit it with 1 minute to spare, you don't feel shame. You feel a massive wave of relief. You feel powerful. You survived again. But here's the question that haunts you when the adrenaline fades. Why couldn't you do this at 3:01 p.m. yesterday? Why can you only function when a gun is held to your head? You aren't lazy, and you aren't just procrastinating. You are a drug addict, and your drug of choice is your own stress hormones. Let's dismantle the biggest lie you tell yourself. I produce diamonds under pressure. No, you don't. You produce volume under pressure. When you procrastinate until the last second, you aren't entering a state of flow. You are entering a state of fight or flight. This is biological panic. Your body thinks a tiger is chasing you. In this state, your brain shuts down its higher functions, creativity, nuance, deep analysis, and focuses entirely on survival. You aren't trying to do a good job anymore. You are just trying to make the threat go away. The work you produce at 4 a.m. is usually functional, but it is rarely brilliant. It lacks depth. It lacks polish. So why does it feel so good when you finish? Because the relief of surviving a near-death experience feels exactly like joy. You mistake the cessation of pain for the presence of pleasure. You aren't proud of the work. You are high on the survival instinct. To understand why you do this, we have to look at the engine of the gifted brain. Most people have a neurotypical nervous system. It is motivated by importance. Is this task important? Yes. Okay, I will do it. You do not have that system. You likely have an interest-based nervous system. Your brain is motivated by 4 things: interest, novelty, challenge, urgency. Here is the mechanics of your addiction. To start a task, your brain needs dopamine. It is the starter motor. But if a task is boring, like doing taxes or writing a standard report, your brain refuses to release dopamine. The starter motor is broken. You turn the key and nothing happens. You stare at the screen, physically unable to move. This is executive dysfunction. So, what do? You wait. You wait for the deadline to get closer and closer. As the deadline approaches, your brain realizes a threat. It switches fuel sources. It stops looking for dopamine and dumps a massive bucket of adrenaline and cortisol into your bloodstream. Adrenaline is dirty fuel. It is toxic, it burns hot, and it damages the engine. But it works. It forces the car to move. You use terror to bypass your lack of motivation. You are using a chemical weapon to answer an email. This strategy worked when you were 15. It worked when you were 20. But as you get older, you start to notice something frightening. The recovery time is getting longer. In college, you could pull an all-nighter and be fine the next day. Now, one night of deadline panic ruins your entire week. You feel hungover, even though you didn't drink. You are irritable. You are foggy. You are depressed. This is the adrenaline tax. Your body was not designed to run on fight-or-flight hormones every week. Cortisol is corrosive. Chronic exposure destroys your sleep, weakens your immune system, and literally shrinks the hippocampus in your brain. You are burning the furniture to heat the house. Eventually, you will run out of furniture. This is how the gifted kid becomes the burned-out adult. So, knowing this, why can't you just start earlier? Because of the wall of awful. Every time you procrastinate, you add a brick of shame to the task. You think about the project, and you feel guilty that you haven't started. So you avoid thinking about it to avoid the guilt. This adds more guilt. By the time you actually sit down to work, the task isn't just a task anymore. It is a monument to your own inadequacy. Scaling that wall requires a massive amount of emotional energy. And the only thing powerful enough to smash through that wall of shame is the wrecking ball of panic. How do we break the cycle? We have to fix the starter motor. We need to find a fuel source that isn't adrenaline. You cannot rely on willpower. You have to rely on curiosity or connection. Body doubling. Work in the presence of someone else. Their presence provides a low-level social dopamine that replaces the need for panic. The crummy draft. Give yourself permission to do it badly. Perfectionism causes the paralysis. Lower the bar so low that you can step over it. Stop waiting for the lightning strike of panic. Lighting destroys everything it touches. Build a small fire instead. It's not as bright and it's not as exciting, but it will keep you warm without burning the house down. If you are tired of running on toxic fuel, subscribe. We are rebuilding the engine one part at a time.